I said, whoever threw that paper, your mom's a hoe.
Hey! We're recording the podcast! Shut up!
Good morning to you wherever you are, because it is
Morning Somewhere!
for July 3rd, 2024. My name is Bernie Burns. Sitting right over there. She tried to go that way, but she ended going up this way. Ashley Burns, how you doing, Ash?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm hanging in there. I would recommend to anyone in hurricane zone to also hang in there, grab onto something and hold on tight. Barrel's coming for you.
Barrel. What a weird name. So what was the A one?
Let me look that up.
Yeah, because it was been a tropical depression. I've been hit by an A1. I got hit by an A in the past. I got hit by Hurricane Alicia when I lived in Houston as a kid.
Bro, you got hit by Hurricane Ashley.
I want to say, I think that was in 1982. I'm actually surprised they haven't abandoned naming hurricanes after people. Do you know that was one of the big holdups in the early period of COVID? Back when it was called the novel coronavirus or novel coronavirus, there was a long debate to determine what they were going to call COVID because they didn't want to call it anything that would prejudice anyone towards a region. And they don't do that anymore since SARS. Never mind the fact that MERS, which came right before it, was the Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome.
Yeah, but now it's changed. So the first storm of the year was Alberto. The next storm, Chris.
Wait. How can that be? What about Beryl? Beryl was before.
Well, no, I'm saying. So first one was Alberto. Now is Beryl. That's the one that is barreling across the Caribbean right now.
No time for jokes, Ashley. Category 5. Your time to make jokes is category 3.
Okay. And then the next one to come along is going to be Chris.
So I was going to say this earlier this week. I believe it was on Monday. I was going to say that it was the first hurricane, the earliest a hurricane has ever formed in the Atlantic. And now Beryl has set a record for being the earliest in the year that a hurricane has ever hit category 5 as well.
So it seems like it could be a bit of a rough year for the area.
It just here we go, right? This is what we're talking about. We're getting the hurricane season started in June. That's when we're starting hurricane season.
I guess so. So just wait until Chris comes your way.
It's now, has Chris been decided or is it out there already?
No, it's not. It's just they have the list of names that they're going to name storms. So they go down the list and they're alphabetical, right? So it's the A to B to C and so on.
Yeah.
So they've already got a list of what these storms are going to be named, going down through, I believe, the W's.
What is W? I'm just curious. I've never...
William.
Hurricane William. Wow, you wouldn't think they would do that just because of the
We've also got
political implications.
We've also got a Debbie, Ernesto, Francine, Gordon, Helen, Isaac, Joyce, Kirk. Kirk's going to be a fun storm.
Hurricane Kirk would be a bad one to get hit by. Yeah, so good luck to anybody who's dealing with that. The nice thing about hurricanes, if you can say that sentence without any sense of irony, the nice thing about hurricanes is they tell you when they're coming. You just don't quite know where they're going to hit you. That's it.
Right. Or, like this one, for example, was not expected to hit category 5.
Yeah.
And now here we are at category 5. So you don't always know far enough in advance to be helpful just how bad it's going to get.
But I was going to talk about this on Monday, and that's when I got interrupted by Finn, when I left him on too long. I didn't realize the recording went too long, and he was like, shut up, we're recording the podcast. So that was what the information I was going to pass along.
Well, this is the currentest information we have. Of course, it could change before people wake up and hear this. So we'll see. But there's another storm of brewing, Bernie, and that's the storm Inside Out 2.
Listen to you, changing over to American box office.
Crossed $1 billion
and
worldwide box office.
Still number 1 at the box office, too, for the past weekend.
Which is crazy.
We gave you 2 days off from Inside Out 2 discussion.
Now we're back, baby.
That's probably as much as we're going to talk about it, though. But the box office is interesting because I looked at the movies that opened this week. One of them has an interesting story, and I'll get to that in a second. Quiet Place Day 1. I tried to convince you to go see that with me when we were in Aberdeen the other day, and you said you weren't interested in seeing it.
Well, I will see it at some point. You know how I am about scary movies in general. I would
Right.
like to
I
be
do know
in the
that.
privacy of my own home with a blanket pulled up to my chin and all the lights on so that I can watch that movie.
Did you see Quiet Place?
I did, and it was great. You know what I really liked about Quiet Place was it had a lot of really
I'll tell you
cool-
what you really liked about Quiet Place is Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
You love that woman.
Always, I do.
Love
I
that
really,
woman.
I really do. But I liked the world building that they did in Quiet Place, like all the workarounds that they had and the things that they did. That seemed like it would have been a really fun production to work on and come up with all of the ways that people would have to get by in this new world. I thought that was really fun. And then the sequel, or rather the prequel. And it's got the guy from Stranger Things in it and Lupita Nyong'o, who is just also an amazing creature. So I do want to see it. I just don't need to see it with immediacy.
Quiet Place was a great movie. It was a great movie. I think it would have been better if this matters, my opinion matters at all, as a standalone. Like, I didn't want more Quiet Place.
Well,
it did feel like it ended on a note that was open-ended a little bit, but I was fine with that.
Yes, we did ask ourselves, was this something that needed to be a franchise? Based on the box office opening, I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, they did really well.
They've done well enough justifying the franchisability of Quiet Place. So yes, I think it's doing very well. You said, what did it do?
It opened at $52 million, taking second place only to a little movie called Inside Out, which did yet another $57 million this last weekend. Opening in third place was, I'm going to read you the name of this movie. It is Kevin Costner's Western epic. It's kind of a passion project he's been working on, according to him, for decades.
Right, since like the 80s, I think.
Standing ovation at the Cannes Film Festival. It kind of reminds me of what we were talking about with Coppola's movie that was a big passion project of his, and it was really important to him. The interesting thing about Horizon is a lot of people are going to know what Horizon is just by knowing that it's not Yellowstone.
Yes, which is the show that Kevin Costner has been working on for a couple of years, but left the show to work on Horizon.
Insanely popular show. People who watch this show love this show. If you're like us, it's probably like a relative that you see at holidays that won't stop talking about Yellowstone. Your mom in particular.
I was going to say, in our case, my mom.
We had a weird thing with Yellowstone, total aside here, where all of a sudden it just showed up in our library on Amazon Prime.
Yes, and we got an email about it. It was like, thank you for purchasing. It was like Yellowstone season 3 or something
Episode
like that. I'm
4.
not sure. And we were freaking out.
We all jumped into motion on that.
Because we got this email and it was like, did you buy it? No. Did you buy it? No. So we didn't know who bought Yellowstone. Just this purchase appeared in our account. We were getting ready to do like a full security like sweep. You know, we were going to
Someone had access to
send
our
in the Men in Black.
Amazon purchase history. God forbid.
Oh no, they're gonna see our subscriptions, and then so we're freaking out. We're gonna change every password we've ever made, and then
It was mom.
and then my mom called, and we had logged in on to Amazon Prime on her TV when we were visiting her for Christmas or something to show her something or to watch some Christmas movie on Amazon Prime. And she didn't know how to log out of our account and log into her account on her TV. So she just bought it on our account and she like mailed us a card with $20 in it.
Yeah, she's been trying to pay us for this episode. And we're like, it's totally okay. Also, I didn't know how to explain to her the annoying thing about this is not that we bought this episode of Yellowstone for you, but now I have forever in my digital library this one episode from season 3 in the middle of the season of Yellowstone. But actually, I will tell you this. I got on a plane recently and I watched the early episodes of Yellowstone.
Yeah?
It was a great show. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
So you're in now.
Yeah, it's basically like Secession, I think, for red states is what it is.
Okay.
I'm totally down with it. Also, I gotta say, Kevin Costner in Westerns, I'm totally down with. But it really kind of irked me when I saw his social media post of him announcing to the fans that he was not going to be returning to Yellowstone. There's been this thing where he'd been filming Horizon. I tried to read about it. I had to hit eject pretty quickly, I have to admit. But his scheduling conflicts with filming Horizon were driving supposedly everyone on the set of Yellowstone crazy. He shot back and said, I can't have scheduling conflicts if there's no scripts that are done. I would argue if you don't know which characters are going to be showing up to shoot the next season, it's kind of hard to write scripts.
Yes.
I would argue that.
Yes, that as well.
But what irked me about it was he did have this kind of tone in his thing. He was very gracious and said, thank you, enjoyed Yellowstone. No, it's a really important show to a lot of people. It was really important to me as well. But I'm busy with doing Horizon. And then he ended with and I'll see you at the movies. And it was like this weird kind of shot that I wonder if most younger people know that distinction, where some people think movies are just inherently better than every other form of media. And I'm a movie star.
I'm not a movie star.
I'm not a TV guy, Ash. I'm a movie guy.
Right.
I got that feeling.
I was slumming it in the TV, but I'm a movie star.
But people loved him as John Dutton, I think is the name of the character. And people loved him as this character. And it's like, if you can do this big, huge, epic thing, which you've already got, maybe just incorporate the elements from Horizon that you're doing. That being said, I am going to see Horizon.
Here's what I know about Horizon.
Yeah.
This first came across my radar when I read a headline that Chris Hemsworth went for a role in it, and then Kevin Costner cast himself in that role.
Yeah.
And that was immediate confusion for me, because I was like, what fucking role is Chris Hemsworth or Kevin Costner? Take your pick.
That's like that teriology math. That's like 1 + 1 = 14 or something like that. Yeah, I don't know in what world those two pegs can, fill the same hole, essentially. That wasn't a sexual thing. Might have sounded
well,
sexual.
it is apparently, because it's a love story, so it may be. So that's all I really know about it. And
can I read something here to you?
Oh, okay. So please do.
I want to read you also all the movies that opened at the box office this weekend, but I want to read you the full title of Horizon.
Okay.
And you tell me when it sounds like a bad idea, when it's a long title.
Go ahead.
Horizon, an American Saga.
Yep, that is, yes.
Chapter 1. Chapter 1.
Okay, yeah, you got me.
Don't put 1 in the title of a movie or the first or anything like that. That is a curse. It's a curse, actually.
It's a curse.
Yeah.
I mean, you're betting hard on that one. And
what's the first time you remember someone doing something like that?
Ooh,
there was a movie when I was a kid called Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins. Guess what? It also
ended right there. Yeah. You just don't know. It's why so many, I feel like, books are written so that the first book could be a standalone.
Yeah, it's the way you do it.
In case it doesn't do well, but it's open-ended enough that if it does do well, great, continued on. Now you've got a series, a trilogy, or of, I don't know, 5, 7, whatever it ends up being. But that first one usually tends to be a lot more self-contained than the ones that come after, especially if it's like your first work.
Who directed Quiet Place Day One? Was it Krasinski?
I'll look that up because he
directed
sort of,
If, which also was
he would have been very, very busy.
It was a moderate hit, I would say, so far this year, but it'd be crazy to have two, directorial efforts coming this close together. But I want to read to you, if I may, Ashley, for essentially the last week of June, first week of July, the weekend, what movies opened at the American box office. Okay,
go ahead.
It's not a super deep roster here. Quiet Place, Day One. There you go. Summer movie.
Directed by Michael Sarnowski.
Who?
Michael Sarnowski.
Okay, so there was Krasinski did not direct it. Okay. Correct. Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1, also opened. Okay, big movie star making his pet project. That's great. Kalki 2898 AD.
Oh, okay.
Opened in 5th place. Oh, by the way, we should point out this movie, Horizon, that Kevin Costner left very popular Yellowstone to make.
I'm sorry, do you mean Horizon, an American Saga Chapter 1?
The Adventure Begins. Quiet Place Day One did $52 million at the box office. Horizon did $11 million.
And that's its 3rd place.
And only on 3,700 screens for Quiet Place, 3,300 screens for Horizon. Not that big a difference in terms of screens. So it didn't do as well. To break it down even further, Quiet Place did $14,000 per screen. Horizon did $3,000.
Okay, yeah, that is a significant difference.
So Yellowstone fans, some good news might be coming your way soon. Also, by the way, Harrison Ford is in the Yellowstone prequel that's coming out.
You know what, though? He's I don't think that's the first time he's done TV stuff. I think he's done...
But I would say he's
a
movie star. And he's doing TV series and doing just fine.
Yeah,
right?
He's got a series, it's called, Shrinking, I think, that he does. I think that's on Apple TV. I haven't seen it, but I've heard great things.
Working my way down the list, though.
Okay, go ahead. Continue the
Horizon,
list.
American Saga, Chapter 1. I keep saying the name over and over again. Kalki 2898 AD, that opened in 5th place. Jat and Juliet 3. Blue Lock, Episode Nagi. Something to Stand For with Micro, and Daddy-O. Those are like the top movies that opened last weekend.
You know, after the first Jat and Juliet, I was like, I don't know, does this have franchise potential? But you know, given the box office performance, I got to say it must.
From what I can tell, both Jat and Juliet and the first one I read, Kalki
something
2898 AD. Yeah, they look like Bollywood movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
But a Bollywood movie opening in 5th place in the American box office seems like a big deal to me.
I would agree. Although it is solidly behind the $11 million opening Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1.
And what was it? RRR. That did really well at the American box office, but I don't know if it opened in 5th place, man.
No, that was a runaway success for sure, which may be why more Bollywood movies are going for the opening. I don't really know, or it could be one of those things where they open in select theaters, and you know, once you're down past 11 million, is it that hard to get on the board?
RRR did at the American box office domestic. I'm assuming that means U.S. It did $15 million in total in its run, which I
Really?
thought it did way better than that.
You know what, though? It might have been that it really picked up a lot of momentum on streaming, because that was big during lockdown, wasn't it?
I think it was it was 2022, so it was after lockdown.
Okay.
But yeah, that movie, did you see RRR?
No, but it's one of those ones that's like, I keep meaning to see it. It's on the list. It just never makes it to the first spot on the list.
It is an epic, goes so long runtime, and it's relentless. It's like nonstop. It just goes after you. At some point, there is literally like a flying herd of tigers in that thing. It's
so what's not to love?
It's a wild adventure. It's an Indian Saga Chapter 1.
Yeah,
That's
so RRR did 166 million worldwide during its theatrical run.
Worldwide.
Yeah. So pretty good, pretty respectable.
Yeah, so yeah, but the big story here is that Inside Out 2 continues its march to being the highest grossing animated film of all time.
And it's barreling.
Coming for you, Frozen 2. It's coming. It's coming.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit of housekeeping real quick.
Sure, let's do
because
it.
I keep meaning to discuss this, and then forgetting, or we move along, or in the episode, whatever. So I do want to give people a little bit of a heads up that you're going to be seeing a couple changes to the podcast over the next couple days.
I quit.
Not you're only doing movies now. What is this, Bernie?
Yeah, I'll see you at the movies, everybody.
No, but we've mentioned this previously, and we did a preview for people on Patreon, but we were able to work with a former Rooster Teeth designer, Michelle Everhart, to give us a little glow up on the logo treatment, and she did all the proper art things, like here's thumbnail templates.
We want to keep it fresh. We want to keep it moving, Ash.
Keep it fresh.
We don't want to get stagnant.
Get a new haircut.
We don't want to get stuck in the median of a crosswalk of brand identity.
I have to wait for the next light to go again.
There were people who did mock-ups in the subreddit of the crosswalk as I was trying to describe it, and they got it pretty much right. The one thing they got wrong, though, is that there is a gap between the two that ways where you could just go straight through. You could do one that way, and you're not able to do that. You have
to walk. It's like, the thing is, you could cross the street if you didn't have to go so far sideways. You could make the full crossing, but they make you go so far to the side that you miss the other half of the cross.
Yeah, somebody linked like a white paper of a study they did on it, and they said one of the problems with it is pedestrians might try to go around it and end up stuck outside on the street. Like, yeah, that's kind of a problem. So, but it's called a staggered crosswalk.
Okay,
so if you want to look this thing up,
it's got an official name. Got it.
If my incredibly descriptive and accurate description did not do it for you yesterday, you can look up staggered crosswalk, and now you know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, there are probably diagrams aplenty.
And it's a safety thing. That's what it basically boils down to. It's a safety thing. So keeping us safe by
annoying us terribly.
Not letting us cross.
Do you wish you could be more safe crossing the street? How about you don't cross the street?
Or do it twice. So now the new logo will be out sometime later this week?
Yes, we'll be rolling out. So the
summer logo.
Yes, our summer logo. We'll have a bit of a facelift on the website. That means that things like, the Spotify art, the Apple Podcast art, and so on will be updated. So if you go and you're looking for it and you're like, I don't understand. There's something almost, but looks different. That's why.
Yeah. And so this will be Morning Somewhere logo, a podcast saga, chapter 2. So we're on chapter 2. Take that, Kevin Costner. And of course, this was all made possible by everyone who has been supporting us through the Patreon, able to do these fun things and work with people that we've worked with in the past and support real, live, human, breathing artists.
And movie stars.
Not those crazy AI.
And today we'd like to thank Bobby Gilstrap and Matthew Clark. So thank you both for sponsoring this episode of Morning Somewhere at patreon.com/Morning Somewhere.
All right, well, that does it for us today, July 3rd, one day before Independence Day, if you're keeping score from the U.S. We will be back to talk to you with fireworks in hand tomorrow, Ashley. We hope you'll be here as well.
Bye, everybody.